Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the Mental Wellness channel with Waihiga. If you're new here, I hope that you stick around and take a listen to what I have to share. Today, I'm going to be talking about signs of a DL man. And I have dated quite a few of these men that I believe, and I want to talk about it. So let's get into it. Where I am from Kenya, East Africa, and African men do not come out and say that they are gay. Wherever you are in the world, whether it's the United States, whether it's Europe, whether it's the UK, the Western world, obviously things are very different. But in the Black community, and especially in the African context, things are very, very different. A man is not likely able to come out and say that he is gay. So what he will do is get a beard, get a woman like myself, date her, and pretend to be straight. Yet his whole life he has struggled with his sexuality. So I want to talk about the signs of a DL man. First, I think number one and the biggest sign of a DL man is a man that is demeaning towards you. A man that is demeaning towards you as a woman. I have a problem with you. Every DL man that I've dated in the past has been very demeaning, very inhumane, and has also tried to put me down. Has been very critical, and always just, always wants to get one up on me. A man who is super critical and a man who is in competition with you as a woman is a man that I would be very suspicious about. The second thing is a man who is constantly has his boys around, right? There's always that boy or the two guys or the three guys or a group of guys that he's constantly talking about. In the beginning, I didn't see this as a threat. I even was comforted by the fact that he was hanging around his male friends a lot. I thought that was a really good thing. And these are in like two of the scenarios. Two of the guys that I dated who were like this always had very close guy friends. However, after some time, you realize that this guy is not only is the guy friend reaching out to me as the woman, but the guy friend seems to be involved in the relationship in one way or another. And this seems to be the only friend of your partner. It's just a very strange dynamic. And then they are always together. Always together. But your mind never goes there. It's like, nah, he can't be with him. There's this ex of mine, every time I bump into him, he is constantly with a younger guy, always the same type, dark, muscular, younger. And I'm always thinking, oh my gosh, here he is with another guy. I never bump into him with a new girlfriend or with his wife or anything like that. He's always with another guy. And he always tells me, oh, hey, Waihiga, this is my cousin. This is my cousin. This is my cousin. And over the years, every time I've bumped into him, this is my cousin. No, this is your lover that you walk around with, but you disguise as your cousin. It's really unfortunate. So they always come with this best friend, buddy, and they get you mixed up in and entangled with these guy friends of theirs. And it just becomes one whole messy situation where that best friend also wants to be involved in the relationship or seems to be involved in the relationship, from my experience. Another thing is bedroom matters. I really would not recommend that you have sex with anyone that is not your husband I would really recommend that you don't have sex with anyone that is not your wife. Don't have sex with people who are merely boyfriends or girlfriends. But I understand we're living in 2024, and if I also wasn't able to make it to this standard until 2.5 years ago. DL men will request awkward and vile things sexually, and as a woman, that's just something that you don't want to do. If you ever feel uncomfortable, if you ever feel like this is taken too far or you've been put pressure on, they will really try and put the pressure on and say, you're not being a freak, or you're not as freaky as I thought you were, or I like my girls freaky, or, compare you with someone else, or try introduce porn into the relationship. So they end up they end up introducing you to their very messed up sexual fantasies of seeing. They're also very violent and mean. A DL man is someone who is very violent, very mean towards a woman. And obviously, the abuse or the violence will not start at the beginning of the relationship. It will happen when he believes that he has gotten you hooked. That's when he will become very abusive towards you. And it will be horrific because you won't see it coming. You won't understand why this person is beating on me, why this person is cheating on me, why this person is insulting me. They are just they come down heavy on you. And the physical abuse is really, it's so much torture. And you don't understand why this person is abusing you in this way. I believe that DL men do this because they're taking out their frustrations on you as a woman. One, they can't be a woman. They can't be who you are. Two, they can't show up in the world as how beautiful you present yourself. They want to date other men and they just simply can't. So they project and they take out all their frustrations on you as the woman. Of course, you as the woman, you have no idea what they're going through, or these are the things that internally are happening to them, but they just take it out on you. So it's really messed up. And another thing I think about DL men is that they get turned on by how uncomfortable you as a woman can get. If a movie is uncomfortable, if you are uncomfortable going somewhere, if you are uncomfortable with a certain person, it's like it ignites something in them, and I really don't like or appreciate that about them. They are also not protective at all. So they're very feminine, not a protective bone in their body. They will never stand up for you, never look out for you, because their interest is actually not you. Their interests are, especially sexual, are with other men. You are just their cover. They're normally single in their 20s. They live this bachelor lifestyle. So in their 20s, in their 30s, maybe even in their 40s. They're living this bachelor lifestyle where all they do is hang out with the boys and drink and chill. Yet they're really up to sinister things. And they normally go for younger girls. Very young girls who are just out of high school, just beginning college, who are very, very naive about men, who have probably never dealt with a man before. And so those are the type of women that they go for. Extremely pretty, but also extremely naive girls. These are the type of girls that DL men go for. The types that can be groomed, the type that don't have much experience with other men. And it's so sad because when you're in high school, or you're just fresh out of high school, or you're fresh in college, you thinking that a man who's 10 or 15 years older than you coming up to you and asking you out and asking you to be his girlfriend, you think this is just an amazing thing. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I must be so mature. He must see so many amazing things in me. He must like really want to get serious with me. You're not thinking about how big of a red flag it is that a man who is 10 or 15 years older than you is hanging out at the places that you are hanging out at, is hanging around your friends, is being predatory, and is coming and asking you out. When I was in college, one of the first people that I dated in college when I was 19 was literally 10 years older than me, and I did not know. He lied to me and said that he was 24. And it was only towards like the end of the relationship when I found his ID, and it said that he was born in 1982. It said that he was born in 1982. That's when I realized, oh my gosh, he's actually 10 years older than me. Why didn't he just tell me the truth from the beginning? So this thing about DL men dating younger women, it happens because when you're a woman in your 30s, like I now am, you're not going to stand for such nonsense. You're not going to stand for abuse. If you've developed into a strong woman, you're not going to stand for a lot of things. But when you're young, you're naive, you're thinking, oh my gosh, a man is everything. Having a man is everything. A guy who's in his 40s who's hitting on you means nothing to you. A guy who's in his 40s, still single, living that bachelor lifestyle, to you, it's very normal. It's like, okay, yeah, he's just a cool guy. He just decided not to settle down, and now he's deciding to settle down with someone like me. I'm so pretty, I'm so young, and that's why he wants me. It's, it's for a reason. They want to pick naive girls who are very easy to manipulate because you have absolutely no experience. And of course, you're young, you look beautiful by his arm. By the time these men are done with you, you will be disease infested. You will be just all sorts of messed up, especially if you're sleeping with this man without protection. These are the types of men who are sleeping with both men and women. They're very promiscuous. So you're expected here to be monogamous and be faithful to this one partner, but he is cheating on you at every opportunity he can with a man, and then he's bringing back all these diseases back to you, and you're only his girlfriend. So this is how in the Black community the HIV rates are highest between married couples, because you have a lot of Black men who are down low, who are actually DL. They get married to a woman, they don't wear protection when they're with their lovers, of course, and then they bring home HIV, STDs, STIs back to their loyal, faithful wife, who ends up getting HIV or all these diseases. It's such a cruel thing to do. And I just want to give you the signs so that you do not have to go through this. If you feel like a man is being feminine, and not feminine like being flamboyant, I'm not talking about that. I mean that you're the one taking charge of a relationship. If you're ever suspicious that this man is having a relationship or something is going on between him and his guy best friend, he's always talking about the boys, he's obsessed about the boys, he doesn't like the female body at all. In fact, the female body disgusts him. When he talks about a woman's curves or her legs, or a woman's lady parts, he's like, he grimaces and he gets disgusted. that is a man that is not into women. He's just using women as a cover, as a face, as a beard, because he's too scared to come out into the world and walk in the fact that he's actually gay. These men are very, very, very dangerous for women. They're very dangerous to our health. They're very dangerous to our mental health. Very dangerous on all fronts. And I would advise you to run as far away from this man as you can. Don't, confront him and say, I know you're gay. Don't confront him and ask him, do you sleep with men? Just, if you see the red flags flagging, pick up your stuff and leave. Because this man will surely be the death of you if you do not get out of such a relationship. These men hate women, and they hate women because they cannot be women. I have a lot of anger towards such men. I cannot stand such men, and I would urge you, especially as a young woman, to look into the history of your family. How did you grow up? What was modeled for you as you grew up? What is it about you that attracts these kinds of men? I attracted these kinds of men because, one, I was desperate for love. Very, very desperate for love. And the second thing is what I saw in my family and what I've seen in and observed in my family, both nuclear and my outside and my relatives, is that we'll have a lot of dominating and domineering women with passive men. And to me, there's something so off about that. I don't ever want to be in that pattern, and I don't want to continue that pattern in my life. I believe that the head should be the man and that the woman should follow through, So I don't want to be the woman that leads the relationship. I don't want to be the woman that wears the pants in the relationship. I do not want to be the domineering one. And so that's a pattern that I've seen in my family, and we do over and over, we reenact these patterns that are very familiar in our lives. So I think that is the reason why I attracted DL men. And obviously being very naive and not understanding how men operate. So I hope this video helped you. You can take all your burdens to Jesus Christ. For me, that is who has been able to restore me and redeem me, and who has really been able to give me a new sense of life. I've been single now for almost 3 years and celibate for just the same amount of time. My last relationship was also a DL situation, and it nearly killed me. It literally nearly killed me. And I'm so grateful to God that I'm out of it. And I'm happy. I'm finding myself. I'm finding my strength. I'm finding my voice. And I just feel so much better than ever. And I just want to give you ladies, especially young ladies, the same information that the same experiences that I hope that you don't go through. I want to relay these experiences to you so that you don't have to go through it. Get in your Bibles, put God first, put Jesus first, and do not fall for these counterfeit relationships. It is too scary out there right now. The rates of HIV, the rates of STDs, the rates of murder, the rates of everything. You cannot play right now. So with that, thank you so much for listening, and